Hello, hello, hello. It is Tuesday. So it is time for another live. Let me know if y'all can hear me, see me. I had to do another fresh install on my Mac. And on top of everything else, I'm having computer problems. So that's always fun. So the videos that I had pre-recorded that are not finished editing probably won't get put up this week because I can really only do super easy stuff on my machine right now. I've been sick, just in case y'all are wondering, because of my performance issues. So I don't know if any of y'all have Macs. I have my iMac with the M1 chip. They did the Monterey 12.5 update. Yes, update that came out, and it messed with my Mac. The 12.4 messed with it, really messed things up. We kind of got issues fixed. Well, the 12.5 really messed with it. I have an appointment to go in on Sunday, and they're replacing it. So because I can't be without my machine, and the closest store is 2 hours away, and we're supposed to go up for Aubrey's birthday. And while we're there, we're going to go ahead, and I have Apple Care and all that, and they're going to go ahead and replace it because they think that what needs to be done is something they have to do something with the M1 chip or something. Don't ask me. All I know is I've had to reinstall Monterey twice or 3 times. We reinstalled all the art programs. I've had to reset Bluetooth, like completely reset Bluetooth. I don't even know how many times. It's been a lot, and it still ain't working right. That's part of the reason why I like trying to do like the Corel tutorial and the Creative Fabrica tutorial. It was so jumpy, and like I was having so many issues. That was part of it. So yay, more issues. But Friday is my cardiology. Yeah, it is cardiology. That's correct, Betsy. Brain stuff. Testing. So, no, not Friday. Thursday. Thursday is my cardiology testing. Yeah, the 28th is my cardiology testing. So hopefully I'll get some answers that way. So that's going on. If y'all have questions, comments, concerns actually about what I do, you can ask them. I'm just kind of doing the update stuff while I'm sitting here. Karen, that's other than just general problems, actually, other than the Mac stuff and getting sick. I'm not going to mention the C word because don't want to get demonetized. I'm doing much better with that. I started a new neurologist. I don't know if I've told people. Got a new neurologist, and I really like my new neurologist. So I'm hopeful. I'm still going to be having some issues, just to kind of give everybody a heads up. But new medicine, and I have to let the new medicine, is going to take a while to build up in my system. So what the new neurologist said is like my vision issues because of everything, the way that it's just that I described it and all that kind of stuff is oh, Belinda, I hope you recover from your knee replacement. That is not a fun thing to recover from. My father-in-law had them both done. You are in my prayers. That's painful, but I am shocked that you were on here typing. That's terrible. But one of the things my new neurologist said is that one, migraines and seizures are pretty much go hand in hand for a lot of people, and they're located in, for a lot of people, are in the same part of the brain. And that my vision issues are just a different kind of seizure. And so he started me on a few different medications, and I have to slowly build up my protection to get to the level that I need to, so I can slowly reduce off of the Topamax that I am taking. So that way, because that's part of the thing that is causing, because if you'll have noticed, my memory issues have just continuously gotten worse. And he thinks that that is the cause of it because they really started with the onset of taking the Topamax. So gonna stop taking the Topamax, but I have to take and get the protection from the new medication to that level, and then I can stop taking it, because you can't just stop taking one without the protection, because then I will have more seizures and have all kinds of issues. You can't just stop taking those medications. You actually have to, like, I'm not sure if does that mean anything to y'all? You have to, like, peter down. Is that the correct term? So we've got that going. I'm also going to see an endocrinologist and a new rheumatologist. Rheumatologist. That's the correct term. To go back and look at some of the things that we've looked at in the past. So those types of things, because we didn't look at certain things because of all the symptoms I had didn't fit, because we didn't realize it wasn't equated to medication. So there's that. That's what we're hoping for too, Miss Kimberly. But the thing is, a lot of the things I didn't have any issues whenever I had it the first time. Like, I didn't have anything, like, no reaction until way later. So if that makes sense. So I didn't really start having issues until, like, y'all know, I really haven't like, my major issues really didn't start until after my gallbladder stuff. Like, I had issues, but not anything super crazy until my gallbladder. And my doctor is in charge of weaning me off. Like, I have to, like, I'm not even going to mess with that stuff because I already have enough issues with being able to function. I ain't even going to mess with that. So, as I said, if I act any goofy, I'm already started on, I have already started medication. So please be understanding with the extra mess ups with the speech. Oh. So, yeah, Miss Kimberly, I had issues, lots of issues before the third dose. So, that's the thing. It would be easy to blame it on it, but I had the issues. It's yeah. We've traced it where it wasn't. It's weird. It's weird. It's like my body went into fighting whatever because of, like, when I had my surgery. Which is because I have autoimmune issues, it's more likely to deal with that stuff. Now, but yeah. But neurological medications, like whenever you're starting them and getting used to stuff, it does this. Sky, they're taking me off of Topamax, which I haven't started, but they started me on 4 new ones. I have no idea what the names are, but it's a lot. So, as I said, I'm clear-ish. Like, I still have my memory issues, but my speech, my words aren't coming out correctly. Like, I know what I'm trying to say. I just don't sound like I know what I'm trying to say. I don't miss doses of my medication ever. Like, I have timers set on my phone. My kids remind me. My husband reminds me. I take them at it when I'm supposed to. I don't miss doses. Whenever you have seizures and stuff like that, you have to be very vigilant about taking it because it can, like, you don't want to trigger something by missing. You can really mess with, like, your you can mess with the electricity in your brain and make it go like, whew, and send those electrical signals all over the place and really get things going. I'll look like Frankenstein's bride, and then it's like starting all over. And yeah, I was too, Sky, and now it's like it's back with a vengeance. And so, but yeah, I am doing better that way. Still lots of heart stuff going on, but as I said, testing is Thursday with the cardiologist, and I think I'm supposed to know at least some stuff then I think some stuff then. I think that's how it works. I don't know. Have y'all had cardiologist? Cardio, what's the term? Is it cardiologist testing? No, it's not cardio. There's another term for that. It's still the cardio testing. I'm not exercising. I'm not supposed to. Yeah. Y'all know what I mean. They're testing my heart. I think I'm supposed to know something that day. Oh no, I'm doing more than the echo care, and they're doing stress test, the echocardiogram, some type of vein testing, more than one type of vein testing. They're doing like 7 tests that day because they're concerned yeah, I'm having like a full workup. So if y'all don't know, yeah, I'm repeating myself now. Part of the reason why I'm doing the cardiologist, my blood pressure drops sometimes, but then I will keep having high blood pressure, my diastolic, but it's like I don't have like high cholesterol or anything like that. But I've been getting dizzy spells when I bend, when I sit up too fast, when I get out of bed, all that kind of stuff. I have poor temperature regulation, but that's something I've always dealt with. Like the AC is set right now in my house on 78 degrees, and I would love it to be warmer. I am in a sweater, as you can tell. I have goosebumps, as you can see, because I'm freezing. So there's that. I'm cold. My heart rate, for no reason at all, jumps up about minimum 10 times a day now. It has slowly, continuously gotten worse. I have what's called, when I went to my regular doctor to talk about my heart stuff, she noticed my feet were purple. So she called it dusky feet. And when I was pregnant with both of the boys, I had high blood pressure, but with Cameron, it was 10 times worse. I had toxemia, preeclampsia, pitting edema because I retained so much fluid. Both of the boys have heart defects, congenital heart defects. Cameron has I don't remember what the term is, but he has a double heartbeat. And Caden has a level 2 heart murmur. So it's a little bit bigger than the standard, like tiny little hole in your heart, but he doesn't have to have like heart surgery. But like, I've never had like every time they've listened to my heart, it sounds okay, but that's why they have to do more testing. Because now there's cause for concern because everything else that's going on. So, yeah. me read. Well, they've talked about possible Raynaud's, that's not how you see it, disease, but that doesn't explain the heart palpitation, yeah, that one. That's part of it. But that's why they're going back and checking for other things. So I've always had where my heart rate just jumps for no reason, but not to the extent of what it does now. Like when I first got my Apple Watch and it had the high heart rate notification, it would go off maybe once a week, and it slowly gotten worse. I've always had poor temperature regulation, but it used to be like, oh, it's 74 in the shop. I need a jacket. Now I need 80 degrees to be, and I need a jacket. So I don't know. But I mean, I'm going to the doctor. I'm getting things checked. And I try to let people know as much as I can. But it's also so people understand, so you can kind of watch for these things. Because, people are like, well, women are colder. Yes, but I'm not 40 years old. Walking around in almost 80-degree weather in a jacket and still getting goosebumps. I mean, I look like I'm trying to be a Jedi in my living room at night, bundled up in my house with it 80 degrees. Everybody else is sweating. And I've got jackets and blankets, and I am literally freezing to death. And they're like, how? Yes, and I've seen that it does make your hands and feet purple, but I don't know. Like, I can sit here and walk laps around my house in my jacket and I don't get warm. So, I can't think of the last time I was actually able to really be able to get warm. But I don't know. But I'm persistent. I still have the geneticist to go see. I am, Joyce, but I'm being positive about everything. And I have a good care team. My cardiologist is amazing. Whenever I went in, he looked at me and he was like, "You're young, you're healthy." We started talking, and whenever he asked me a couple of questions, he took everything I said extremely seriously, which is very, very unusual. Part of the problem, and I don't know if anybody else deals with this, but this is an issue that I have run across, being in the condition that I am, looking like I do. When I go to a new doctor's office, and I start talking, I get judged. Women get judged going to the doctor's office anyway. This is true. Where I'm a hypochondriac. I cannot have those symptoms. That it's all in my head. And even if another doctor, which I've been referred by other doctors who have seen these symptoms, it's like this. It's very hard to find a good doctor that will listen and believe you, especially when you look young and you look healthy. It's just how it goes. I can go in there without makeup and look exhausted, and they still don't care. They just don't. They're like, you look healthy. They assume. And my heart doctor listened whenever we started talking about things. As soon as he found out about my issues with the boys, he was like, well, how are you doing on birth control? I told him, well, I've had my tubes tied. And he was like, good. You do not need to have any more. It would kill you. And I was like, I know. They tied my tubes when I was in the hospital with Cameron. They don't do that. I didn't have to have Jeremy's permission to do it when I did it. Because in the state of Texas, when you're under the age of 25 and you don't have 3 kids, you have to have your husband's permission and signed off on to get your tubes tied. Jeremy did not have to sign off on my stuff because it was a risk to my life to have any more babies. But it's one of those kinds of things. And he listened. My new neurologist listened. He took what I said serious. And he's been doing it a long time and understood everything that I said and knew from how I described the symptoms that I had, what I was talking about immediately. Because he didn't just drown out the sound of a woman's voice. That's part of the problem. Exactly, Karen. Erica, I'm hoping once things go back to normal, maybe we'll get back into it. It's just right now, I can barely keep up with what I can't even keep up with what I'm supposed to do. But that's what I'm hoping for. But yeah, and it's like I've tried to explain to doctors. I'm not one to just go to the doctor. 90% of the time, I am one who will ignore things. I don't take medicine unless I absolutely have to. And if a medication is causing me more problems than the symptoms were beforehand, I won't take the medication. I would rather live with the symptoms, the pain, the whatever, than to deal with the side effects. It's just how it is. But, you know, I just don't understand it. Yeah, see, Karen, that's part of it is finding good doctors. Now, I love my general practitioner. She's a little odd on some things, but she listens. And if she doesn't know something, she'll be like, I don't know, but I can get you to a doctor that does. And that's something that I can definitely respect because I've been to so many like other like GPs and stuff like that that I've had will be like, well, here, just take this or just do this. This will fix it. And that's not how you do it. Or when I was on the heavier side, oh, you just need to lose weight. That'll make it better. That's not the fix for everything. That's not the fix for everything. Because sometimes that's just a symptom of what's going on. Hi, Mary. You know, and that's what people don't realize. Sometimes the weight is the symptom. Like, you can't control it. And that's annoying right there. It's like, and everybody's got this like, oh, you have to be skinny to be healthy. Like, since I'm thinner now, because that's part of what has happened because I've been so sick. Oh, you look great. You can't be sick. Really? Do you realize that this is a side effect from being sick? I would much rather be where I was before and function than this. Well, Sky will definitely tell you, keto can help you lose the weight, but it's not really, at least for me, it's very, very hard to sustain it. And when you put it back on, you put it back on tenfold. And finding a happy balance with things is so much better. And just find a way to love you and the skin you're in. Don't focus on the scale because it doesn't matter in the end. It doesn't. If you can move and you can bend and you can dance, that's what matters. Don't let anybody tell you, don't let a doctor tell you if your numbers, like your heart numbers, are healthy, if your blood level numbers are healthy, and you can move and bend, those are what matter. Don't let the BMI, that type of stuff, rule your life, because those numbers were invented and they're based on stupid stuff. They are. And that doesn't matter. The things that are important are the things that say if you're going to have a heart attack or not. That's what matters, if that number's healthy. If that's healthy, if you got a little more cushion around the midsection, who cares? You know, if you're obsessed with that forever, it's going to ruin your life. You know, I've spent a lot of my life focused on those types of things. And I'll put this in a great way as much as I can. Growing up, I've talked about that I had a very, very crappy life. My adopted mother, which is my biological grandmother, my biological mother was always on the heavier side, which she really wasn't heavy. But Dorothy, my adopted mother, was very, very thin, like 90 pounds after children, 5, 6 or so, so very thin. And my biological mother was probably about 130 pounds, about 5'2". So heavy compared to Dorothy. So Dorothy was obsessed with weight. Extremely obsessed with weight. And she put that onto Drool and made her obsessed with it, made her feel terrible about her body. And then as a child, for me, she did it to me. I was never a big person. I mean, I got heavier after kids because, like with Cameron, like whenever I delivered Kate, I weighed 116 pounds because I was tiny. Now, Cameron, I put on a lot of weight because, as I said, toxemia, preeclampsia, diabetes, and edema, pitting edema. There was nothing I could do except for just put on water weight every time I turned around. And then it was like I couldn't get it off. But I'm 4'11". I weighed 98 pounds. So not heavy by any means. But I'm curvy compared to Dorothy. Was not stick figure, like built like a board like she was. Not saying anything bad about anybody who's built like that, but compared to how she was built, I was not built like that. So I was always told I needed to lose weight. I was chunky, I was fat. So it stuck with me terribly. And I also grew up in the late, my formative teenage years were mid to late 90s, early 2000s, which was the time period of, the models who look like they never ate anything, where you could see every single bone in their body. So that was not good for self-esteem. So yo-yo crash dieting kind of thing, where it was never skinny enough. And I have spent so much of my life obsessed with the numbers on the scale and the numbers like the BMI index. With as tiny as I am right now, I am just now at the number that is considered normal. And I want to explain that. My size that I am at right now, if I follow the BMI index, I am just now, with my height and my weight, I am a size, and this is not bragging, this is not trying to make it, because I am too skinny at this point. I am just now at the point where I am considered normal and in the healthy range, where I'm no longer considered overweight. I am literally in a small or an extra small or a size 2 or 4. So tell me whose normal that is. That I am just now in what is considered a healthy range for anyone's standards. I mean, literally, you can see my bones in my chest, like through here. I mean, that's not like at all. It's not normal. I mean, and that's not, as I said, that's not me trying to make people feel bad about their weight or anything like that. I did not get to this weight on purpose. I am still losing weight, not on purpose. Not at all. It's just to show. So, let me see. Exactly, Mary. Those are things, and you get that instilled in your head. And remember, kids watch you, your grandkids watch you. So you got to remember that kind of thing. And oh, I am, Roberta. I am being persistent. I'm gone to the amount of doctor's appointments I have every month is just ridiculous. Oh yeah, no, I am going to every doctor I can, setting up all the doctor's appointments. I'm doing everything I can. The amount of money I'm spending right now a month in just co-pays is absolutely freaking ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But I'm still have a positive outlook. And for the most part, I'm still happy with everything. And sharing things is important. And that's part of like sharing that is making sure people understand that it's just because you're thin doesn't mean you're healthy. Just because, I would give away being skinny to be healthy. And, but I do. I am still happy. I still love my life. Yes, I still have bad days and I have negative thoughts. Who doesn't? But, things are looking up. As I said, I feel like I am on the right track with my care team. And I am at the point, though, with my care team that if my doctors, because as I said, I'm going to see an endocrinologist. Hey, I got that right. And a rheumatologist, a new rheumatologist. Yes, that was correct. If they don't give me the right vibes to begin with, I'll find a new one. I'm not going to do that. We're going to start off on the right foot, or I will get a new one immediately, because there's no point in wasting my time, because I need people who are going to listen and take what I'm saying seriously. Because if they're not going to take me seriously from the start, there's no reason. It's just, it is what it is with all this. I hope that makes sense. It's not like I need someone to validate what I'm saying. I don't need someone to fake diagnose me. But I need someone who's going to actually take me seriously, so that way we can get to the bottom of things. Because you have to have someone who's actually going to listen. So, exactly. You have to have someone who's actually going to take what you say seriously. I don't know how many stories I've heard from people dealing since I've dealt with this, because that's one of the things that I can say that it's definitely been a positive experience. Because, I mean, yes, there's been a lot of stuff that's been bad through this. You know, I've almost lost my entire career from this. I'm not going to lie. You know, YouTube, all that kind of stuff has been so slow, bad, whatever you want to say. It is what it is. If I lose it, I lose it. I can deal. I can find other ways to make money. But I'll become an OnlyFans person. I'll take pictures of my purple feet and post them online. Maybe I'll make them blue and become a Smurf. See? Positivity. But one of the things, I'll talk to you later, Karen. But one of the things that I have seen through all this and learned through all this is I have gotten to deal with and talk to and hear some amazing and also see some sad stories, but be in an amazing community of mainly ladies, but some men, non-binary, because we don't discriminate here. We love everybody. People who have been through so much, but have shown me so much positivity and joy and support, where it has just been amazing to see. And that's what I think the world needs a whole lot more of. Less hate, more love and support. And it's been really good for me. It's definitely been something I need a whole lot more of. And, you know, if people get offended that I am not someone who cares about, you know, whatever other people believe, you know, that's on y'all, or whoever thinks that that's bad, because life's too short to care about what other people want to think about, or who they are and what they want to love, or who, you know, because Jesus didn't judge. That's how I've always looked at it. Because Jesus would sit at a table with anybody else. He wouldn't turn anybody away. That's what I was always taught. And there are too many people who are being way too hateful in this world. So, and if that means other people unfollow me, again, that's the way that I've always looked at it that way. If those like if I say stuff like that and people are like, well, I won't follow you because you support so and so. Well, that's not the kind of person I want following me anyway. I want people who are hateful. You're supposed to love other people. You know, I want positive, loving, kind. Positivity breeds positivity. Negativity breeds negativity. That's how I was. I don't know if anybody else is like that, Does anybody else believe that? Like, I've always tried to look at things like that, and especially from like the way that I was raised, because it was always such a negative environment that negativity breeds like that's what festers and grows, and that's where the gross kind of stuff in the world comes from. Like, you need that positivity, whether you're religious or not or anything like that. Whatever you think about everything else in the world, look at where we are in the world as a whole. Hey, everybody being so mean and hateful, and you're wrong and you're this and you're that. If there was a little bit more, I like you, have a cupcake, let's try to be friends, I understand where you're coming from, you do you, I'm not going to judge you and your life experiences. What does it hurt? That's how I look at things. Do you think the world would be better? I always look at things a lot of times by, like with religion and things like that, as I saw someone had posted this the other day. It's like, if you're lactose intolerant, that doesn't mean your neighbor's lactose intolerant. If your neighbor's not lactose intolerant, you can't take milk away from them just because you can't have milk. You can't force someone else to believe the same things you do. So you just gotta kind of love and accept. It ain't hurting you. You can't make anybody. It's like, and I'm going to say this and it's probably going to offend people. It's like people complaining, like, if there's gay people on TV. Well, I'm scared it's going to make my kid gay. Well, seeing straight people on TV didn't make the gay people straight. So seeing gay people on TV isn't going to make the straight people gay. That's not how that works. So, maybe I'm wrong. If you think so, sorry. But just being accepting, because who is it hurting? That's how I look at it. I got enough stuff going on with me that I'm not going to fight over stuff like that. Just love one another. Doesn't matter what color you are. Doesn't matter who you love. Be nice. Learn history. And be nice. That's what's important. No one's better than anybody else. As I said, this will either get people to unsubscribe, and I'm sure it will. I live in a conservative area. I hear it all the time when I say stuff like that. It offends people all the time because it's wrong. But again, who does it hurt? I don't know. That I don't know. Maybe I'll look at things differently. Maybe I'm the odd man out. Or maybe, I don't know. Well, it's like I see this and I'm like, well, what do you do if people who feel this way, well, what do you do if your child is gay? I'm not going to not love my child. I'm not going to sit there and tell my child that they're wrong. Life's too short. I mean, what are you going to do? Am I going to, not see my child? Am I going to, how would you handle that? There's nothing that my child could do for the most part that would make it where I would not, that I wouldn't have anything to do with them. Now, I say that other than like if they became a Ted Bundy kind of thing. I would still love them, but I don't know if I would have anything to do with them unless they I don't know if I'd go see my child in prison if they become like a Ted Bundy or a Charles Manson kind of person. But then I also would think, well, what did I do as a parent to turn them into that? Because yes, I realize that part of that's genetics, but then that's also parenting too. It's not like gay. You can't change gay. But serial killer, not everybody who's born a psychopath becomes a serial killer. That's actually proven. That's parenting too. So that's partially on you. So that would make me wonder, what did I do? See, these are the things that go through my head. Am I the only person who does this? Okay, so we're going to change the subject. As a parent, do y'all do this? I do this as a parent, where I go through these scenarios where it's like, okay, if I turn my child into a serial killer, what did I do wrong? How did I push my child to that point? What did I do to make them into that? I literally go through these types of scenarios where it's like, how did I mess my child up this badly? I do this with lots of things. And it's not just the serial killer thing, but I do that one. I do that one a lot because I do the serial killer thing. But I've also done it with the cult leader, because I've wondered that one too. How did I make my child into a cult leader? Because cult leader parents are one of those types of things. And it's also how do you go on having a normal life if your child does become a serial killer or a cult leader? Well, yes and no, because a sociopath is a completely different thing than a psychopath. Sociopath, but on top of that, for those things to happen, because there's a lot of people who are sociopaths, psychopaths, that don't ever act on those things. It's like people who are I'm not going to say the word, who live with those types of feelings, things that do not ever act on it. You would be shocked and surprised on the number of people who have that, who do not actually ever do anything with it. The numbers are crazy, because I do a lot of research on stuff like this, because I go on these crazy tangents because I love history and documentaries and learning stuff. And so when I find out these things and you find out this information, and people like that have trauma and stuff that happens from caregivers, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a parent. It's the people in their lives around them that it happens from. Again, not blaming just the parents. Do not think that. But there are people around them that cause them trauma. And then there are other people around them who ignore it, that causes it to get worse, fester, and then that's how it happens. It's like Charles Manson. If you look at his backstory, the man spent most of his life, from like the age of 8, in prison. There's very little bit of time, very, very little bit of time that he was not in prison. Does that excuse his behavior? No. But there's a lot more to it than what you're actually, that happened. But when you look into all of that information, it's kind of crazy on how this, like, the whole story and everything kind of goes down with it. But like, part of his stuff is he wanted to feel powerful, and he controlled people not with, I mean, he was good at talking to people, but he controlled people a lot with drugs. But there's so much like nuance with a lot of that stuff. It's just unique, but you have to, it's like genetics load. It's like with, trying to think of the best way to pull it or say it. You have a lot of people who have exactly. There's so much information out there on it. Exactly. There's psychological reasons for and there's also not just psychological reasons for their personalities. There's genetic reasons for their personalities. There's actually stuff where you can see that there's parts of the brain, like whenever they do the MRIs and stuff, where they can show you that, like, there are certain parts that don't light up on their brains whenever they show like pictures and stuff like that. It's kind of crazy. Like, they're missing like empathy parts. Sociopaths are the same way. Genetic predispositions. Yes, genetic predispositions. It's kind of like with autism. Like, I carry, which is part of the reason why I carry the autism genes. Okay, it's got autism. I actually carry a lot of different mental illness genes. That's one of the things we're going to find out all the information whenever we when I go to the geneticist, kind of more information about all of that. So it's kind of weird. And you find out like there's a lot of genetic information that's involved in all of that. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to have it. Like, there's genes that are tied to schizophrenia and things like that, but they're not just tied to schizophrenia, bipolar, depression. They're all kind of go hand in hand, but having those and then certain factors, like if you have certain traumas with it, can make it where it kind of like lights it up. But yeah, it's kind of a unique thing. But, you know, knowing how familial trauma can bring that to light. But then you also, as I said, there are certain parents and things like that that seem somewhat normal, but then you find out later that really aren't. There's a lot of times that are like that where it's like, oh, they seemed, but that's how it goes. Like whenever you hear, how many times do you hear in like those cases? Well, they didn't seem like they were like that. And then you're like, you start to hear like more into it and you're like, well, how did you not notice that? Well, he was so quiet, but he stayed out all night and came in rolling drums like Jeffrey Dahmer, like rolling in big oil barrels. You didn't think that that was a little odd? 3 o'clock in the morning, riding the bus, carrying, giant oil drums into an apartment? You know? That seems a little suspicious to me. I don't know. I don't know. I'm always suspicious of people. I'm like the crazy person that's like, let's watch you through the blinds. Not really. I could really care less what my neighbors do, but like I would feel like I would be like when I'm older and retired, I always felt like I would be the person that would do that, but I just do it on like the Facebook groups. Like I want to sit there and watch the people's drama. But honestly, I did for the first little part whenever like they started in the groups, and then it was like now I could really care less because it's so silly over what everybody complains about. Yes, Flora, monsters do come in all shapes and sizes. It's like whenever the Subway guy came out, and it's like, that really didn't surprise me though. I have learned though, when it comes to anybody who gives me like an off vibe, I trust it. Never ignore the off vibes. And if your kids ever tell you someone gives them the heebie jeebies, don't ignore it. Trust your kids. Don't ignore it. Don't dismiss it. Don't let anybody in your kids' lives ignore it. There's a reason. That gut instinct. I don't care if it's your uncle, your brother, whoever. Trust the instinct. Trust the instinct. Don't ignore it. Trust your kids. And if your kids, I don't care what age it is, if they have someone who they don't want to be alone with, don't want to go around, don't want to sit in their lap, don't make your kids hug someone, kiss someone, touch someone that they don't want to, just trust me. Don't do it. It's creepy. Don't do it. Just don't do it. This is take it from someone who knows. Don't do it. It's a good piece of advice. Don't do it. Don't do it. And don't just let random people hug your kids either. If your kid wants to hug someone, let them hug them. But don't, like, and I don't care if it's someone you've known forever. Don't just let random people hug your kid. Let your kid be the one to make that decision. Trust me. Let your kids learn their instincts and hone in their instincts well. Because that gut instinct is a good thing for them to know. And trust your kids. Trust your kids. And talk to them often. Often. I know this doesn't have anything to do with vinyl or crafting. It's personal experience. Not important about things. But yeah. This is something I will definitely tell you. As I said, it has nothing to do with anything that I'd normally do. Just trust me. If this is one piece of advice I could give anyone with children, grandchildren, aunts, uncles, anybody who's around children, who's a teacher, this is something that I can, if you know anyone with kids, this is advice you can give anybody that you know who has children. Trust your kids. Do not make them hug people, touch people that they don't want to touch. This is something you need to teach young and reiterate. Do not make them touch people. It is a good lesson. Let your kids be as shy as they want to be. Learning to protect themselves is a good thing. And again, trust them. Doesn't matter who it is. Because you never know. So. Anyways. Exactly, Flora. Instinct is given to us for a reason. And for some reason, we are forced to learn to take our guard down. Like we're supposed to taught. We are taught to sit there and be quiet and just be polite. And, no. Trust your instinct. And it doesn't matter if you're a boy, you're a girl, you're a woman, you're a man, trust your instinct. You have a fight or flight response for a reason. If a situation gives you a vibe, trust your instinct. Exactly, Michelle. There's a reason for it. I still trust it to this day. People give me a bad vibe, I trust it wholeheartedly. And I'm an adult. If someone gives me the heebie-jeebies, I won't go around them. I won't let my kids go around them. I'm almost 40 years old, and I don't care who it is. And I don't like people touching me. I still don't. I'm not a hugger. I don't, I don't like to be touched. It's just, I don't know. As I said, these are things that you need in it. Like with the kids, when they were little, sleepovers were no go. Even as freaking teenagers, they were really a no go. And I was always shocked in that regard on how many people would just let kids like drop them off at my house who I had never met, who didn't know me from Adam, who it was very shocking on a lot of things when it came to stuff like that. Really freaking shocking. Like, I would never. But again, I've had a lot of experiences in my life. I've been open and honest about things. And I'm a very much an advocate for children, and especially when it comes to that kind of stuff. And it's like, I've talked about it in the past where my kids didn't go places like that, like even for a little while. Like if they went to a birthday party, I was there. Sports for practices and stuff, I was there. But yeah, it was always odd to me. But I don't care if I came across as overprotective. Your kids have one childhood, and that kind of stuff can ruin it real quick. And that stuff, it stays, it doesn't leave. And it's, I don't know. But yeah, I think I'm going to end it there. Sorry if that got depressing. I am still in a positive mood. Only reason I say that kind of stuff is, as I said, we talk about creepy people, and you want to remember those kinds of things because people forget that. And, you know, you want people to remember. And again, if you don't have kids, that's fine. But if you know people who have kids, just remind them of that. Not trying to be preachy to anybody. I just want to keep kids safe. You don't always think about that kind of thing. And, you know, I want to protect all the babies. That's a great way to do it. But I love you guys. I don't know. Tomorrow I'm still working on trying to edit stuff. It depends on if I can get it finished because it said trying to edit anything. I'll tell you, trying to explain editing right now on my Mac because of all the computer issues. Like the video I did yesterday, as y'all saw, I think was like 10 minutes. To do that video, it took, and it wasn't a hard video at all. I think it took like 12 hours to finish. So if I cannot do anything super hard, I do have a box of goodies for Condi had sent over. So I might do an unboxing for they have for their open house a Christmas in July. If y'all want to see that, I might do an unboxing of that because I think it would be good. Because that one would be, because I don't have to film it all and edit it all. Like I can edit it just on there and it'll be pretty simple to do. Because that's something, as I said, at least I can somewhat do that. But yeah, I have to kind of keep things a little on the simpler side. So if that's okay with y'all, at least until Sunday. And I'm hoping that fixes it. If not, I might just pull my hair out and scream really, really loud. So if I come back and look like the Cynthia doll from Rugrats, you know what happened. But yeah, I'm excited to see what's in the box because I wanted to do an unboxing of it anyway. So if I can't get anything else done, that's what we're doing. I'm excited. But yeah. And Patreon, I have some of the artwork done. I still plan on trying to get it up before the end of the month. Again, I have no control over all this computer stuff. Y'all saw, if y'all are a part of Patreon, y'all have seen the computer stuff where like the mouse went. It's bad. It's really, really bad. I can probably take and like whenever I go to try to do something, I will record it and post it so y'all can see, because it's terrible. It is so terrible. If it's not one thing, it's another. But I'm still positive. Actually, I really am. I mean, I can't do anything about it except for laugh. But it'll be okay. It really will. But yeah, it's only a few days and we'll be okay. But yeah, I will see y'all later. Bye.